everybody. This is Huge Pop from Huge Pop Entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans around the world, brace yourselves, standing tall, larger than life, and ready to dominate the airways just like he dominated the ring. He is a true force of nature. You've seen him power over opponents. You've felt the ground shake when he steps through the ropes. And tonight, he's stepping into our house. This is no ordinary guest. This is the powerhouse, the unstoppable force, the one and only Buck Brezner, the American Giant. Get ready because this interview is about to be the massive as a man himself. Welcome to the show, Buck. How you doing, my friend?
You're very good, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Bill, for coming on. Thank you, Buck, for being here. I start every interview. It's lame probably, but I'm going to start it off with the first question I ask everybody. Man, Mr. Brezner, what was it like for you as a fan growing up before you came into business?
Well, I'll tell you what, for the electricity, I used to love it. When I first saw it on TV with my father, I used to hate it. And the more and more I watched it more, the more I grew into it. And as it changes me, so to speak, in my heart and in my spirit, because it's one of the most rugged competitions back then. And I just grew with it. And I just went with it and fell in love with it after a while.
Who were your guys that you looked at? Who were your guys that caught your eye, that got you, say, oh my God, I want to do that?
Well, I got to be honest with you. One of them was the late, great Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Because Jimmy has that powerful mentality and attitude. He was one of them. Bob Backlund was another one. The Magnificent Morocco. Andre the Giant, Blackjack Mulligan, all these guys. It all is sorts of different ones at different times, but a lot of them got my attention, and especially what really got me upset. It was at the time that Captain Lou Albano had a thing going with Ray the Crippler Stevens to destroy Snuka. I don't know if you remember that or not. Back in 1982. When Superfly Snuka got power driven twice on the concrete floor. Wow. Boy, that really fired me up right there. And brother, I thought it was so real, so to speak. I almost shot my popcorn at the TV set because I was really upset at that point.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. Kind of like where I was when Macho Man, where Hogan comes down to the ring and drops that gigantic leg on Macho Man. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be upset or be happy that the NWO started. It was just holy cow. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, brother. But yeah, back then that's where it all started.
Wow. Hey, man, my friend Bill, you got something for our guest?
Yeah, actually. With your height as it was, 7'3", correct?
Right now, I'm 7'3". Yes.
How was it breaking into the business with your height?
Well, at first it was kind of different, not difficult, but different because I had to learn how to utilize my height in professional wrestling. And I'll give you a little testimony. One time when I was a junior in high school, and I tell this all the time because people different ask, I tried out for the junior varsity basketball squad. And on the third cut, I got cut on the third time. That really devastated me. I felt very angry about that. So a friend of mine from high school had to calm me down. And the next day, the wrestling coach came up, says that he found out I got cut. And the first question he would ask me is, how would you like to wrestle for me? I'm like, are you serious? I got cut from the basketball team, and all of a sudden you're asking me if I want to wrestle for you? Back then, I said no. But this is what really changed, and this is where I really got into this. He told me that he was very good friends with one of the guys, and I'm going to say the old World Wrestling Federation, just to get the people to understand what back then. He went to Ithaca College with one of the guys from the World Wrestling Federation. I said, yeah, right, because I thought he was ribbing me. Make a long story short, he goes, you really want to know who it is? I said, yes. I'm very good friends with him now. It's Gorilla Monsoon. And I thought, you're not kidding, are you? He goes, no. When you go down to the TV taping for the Survivor Series show, you tell Gorilla I said hello. I saw Gorilla 2 nights later, gave him that message, and he said hello. He knew my coach very well. And I went back to school the next day. He snapped his finger. He goes, I told you. Somehow, I was like, how did you hear about it? He goes, I got a phone call about it when you saw Monsoon. I said, Coach, I accept. I accept your invitation to wrestle for you. And that's when I first started my amateur wrestling.
Wow, that's a great start.
Really got another one?
Yeah. So I did a little research. Heard you broke in with the Malenkos.
Yes. Yes. A friend of mine from high school, I got a letter one time from a buddy of mine who knew Mike Rotondo, IRS's family. And I got a letter one day. Originally, he wanted to send me to Buffalo, New York to do the story of Dick Beyer. So Dick called me. Actually, I called him, actually. And he said that I just retired from the business. I'm going to refer you to one of the guys in Tampa, Florida. I said, okay. He goes, have you ever heard of the great Malenko? I said, no, I haven't. Never heard of him. You heard of Gordon Soley, right? I said, yes, I know who Gordon Soley is. He says, oh, I'm going to have him get your file. You'll be getting a phone call in probably about 2 days. And sure enough, I get a phone call from 2 days later from Boris Malenko. He told me, if you get your butt down here, we want to train you. And he was offering me to go to Japan with the big boss man, Mr. Perfect, and the Nasty Boys and all them guys to get more experience. But that part didn't work out because I couldn't get my passport in time. But yeah, ever since then, I've relocated down there, and away we go. And I enjoyed it ever since.
So we mentioned and we mentioned NWO in the beginning of the show. One of your biggest moments, I think, I don't know if you'd agree or not, one of the biggest moments in your career, I think, was when you had that match with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, a tag match, I believe it was, inside an empty arena, I believe.
Right.
What was that experience like? Were you on cloud nine when you got to step in the ring with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the NWO? How was that?
I wouldn't say cloud nine, brother, but I will say it was a great experience to have because you never know later on in my career who I could be wrestling. You can get a phone call from I'll say WCW or the WWF. You can get a phone call and say, we enjoyed seeing you work. Would you come back to work and work out the details? I said, yeah. I said, I don't have a problem with that. Just an example. Was I in cloud nine? Well, somewhat, yes, because I wanted to get the experience to work with the talented guys, and I had the opportunity to do that. Even though Pistol Pez, Wally and I lost the match, the important thing is we went in there, we just wrestled our hearts out, and just do the job. Whether it's in an arena, empty arena, whatever, it was a good experience. I really enjoyed it.
So is it different? Does it feel different? And how do you stay focused when you have no people compared to thousands of people?
I'm sorry, repeat that question. I couldn't hear you.
So when you go into a match like that where there's an empty arena, how much different is it to perform in front of nobody compared to performing in front of thousands?
It really is not that much difference to me. It depends who I'm wrestling with. They go over the card, whatever, go over the match. But what's really different to me is the experience. Because you can learn a lot of things from a different talent at any time. And when I was in there with Kevin Nash, specifically also, Kevin and I were the same height. Well, actually, back then I was 6'9", rather, at that point. Kevin Nash, I look at the video, I can see what Kevin did to me. You can learn a lot that way too. And I try to work on that stuff. It all worked out for me as well. Some things are good, some things were better than others, but I just tried to stick to the best that I could do. That was it. But yeah, the experience is what's important to me.
All right. Bill, go ahead.
How did the WCW deal How'd you get in touch with somebody to get in there?
A promoter came up. I was at the Bayfront Center in St. Petersburg, Florida, talking to security one time, and one of the promoters knew who I was, and they came up to me and goes, "Buck, Pistol Pez thought he needs a tag team partner to wrestle the NWO, the Outsiders. Would you be willing to do that?" I said, "Sure, not a problem." I got my gear and I went in and saw the booker, your old agent, Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful. He asked me if I was ready to go. I said, "Yeah." I had the forms on it. He goes, "Go get your gear on. You'll be on in an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most." Fair enough. So I got my gear on, talked to Bischoff, talked to Pistol Pez, and it was great. At that point, I was happy to do it. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. I'm very thankful for that. And the Nasty Boys walked in. He goes, "What do you think you're doing?" I said, "I'm getting ready to wrestle." And I told him with Pez, they're like, "No, you're not." They were ribbing me on that one. I said, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to go, brothers. See you guys. I got work to do." And before you know it, did the match. It came out great, as far as I know.
So in the NWO, you have Scott Hall, who passed away, a legend in himself. You had Hulk Hogan, a legend in himself. What was the relationships you had with those two gentlemen, and did they teach you anything in your career?
Yes, it did. Scott Hall taught me about some big man stuff. So did Hogan. He was there at that point. They taught me how to maneuver in the ring and how to get the chemistry to work out. And I'm glad they did do that, because otherwise I would have been lost at first. And they said just follow the follow the path. We'll guide you to it. And boom, it did. And sure enough, it worked out really, really well. And I was very happy to see that. But my relationship with those guys, they're both my acquaintances, and they're both like brothers. No matter if you're WCW or the WWF or WWE rather, they're brothers. They're all brothers in the business. That's how I look at it.
That's awesome, man. And I'll let Bill ask another question in a second, but I want to feed off what you just said. Brothers in the business. Brothers in the business. To me, it's important. That's that brotherhood that you talk about, right? The trust.
Right.
You have to trust somebody, because they're lifting you up, or you're lifting them up, and you're putting them to the ground. So you better be trusting somebody. So that brotherhood better be amazing. But more than that, how important is it to these rookies or these guys on the indie scene to, when they have somebody like you in the locker room, for them to like listen, ask questions? So I guess I asked that, but how important was it for you to ask Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hogan? What is that important, you think?
Of course it is. It sure is important. It's very important. If you don't have that communication, you never know what can go wrong. And I say wrong because it can go wrong. But yes, it's very important to ask questions and ask for direction. Because like Boris Malenko used to tell me, so did his two boys, Dean and Joe, no question is stupid in professional wrestling. Ask. That way, you'll get the experience that will make you go over, and that'll make your partner who you work with go over. Yes, it's very important.
You think it's missing in today's business?
I'm sorry?
Do you think it's something that's missing in today's wrestling business?
I think so. Yeah, because I think it is missing somewhat today. Yes, because I'll tell you why. I'm going to use this as an example. So I hope you understand. A lot of giants have passed away. Andre, Studd, Bundy, Mulligan, Elegante, the Giant Gonzalez. A lot of them have either passed away or retired. There's not too many giants left. I was told that I was basically one of the last giants that's left in professional wrestling. Now, these new talents today, You see them go in the ring, flip flop, wrestling in the ring. They're not telling stories. They're going in there and doing what they want to do just to make themselves look good. But here is the point. My point is this. Number one, if you don't know how to wrestle a giant, then what the hell are you doing? You don't deserve to be inside that ring. Number two, it takes both partners to go in there and do the best match you can. You go over or under, that doesn't matter to me. It's how you present the match that goes over to put the butts in the seats. That's simple. These new talents today, in my heart, a lot of them, I don't think understand the concept of that. They really don't. I've had a lot of promoters. I'm having a hard time getting booked because I'm the only one. I'm the only giant basically. They don't even know how to wrestle a giant, and it's getting a little hard on me at times. I still wait. I'm still active. I keep on going to the next phone call rings. But yes, these new generation guys today, they got to learn a lot of things what the old school went through back then and apply it, so to speak. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick to it.
Awesome. Thank you for your opinion. We welcome opinions on this show because that, and we don't judge about the opinions on the show because we all have them, and that's what makes a fan. That's what makes a wrestling fan a good wrestling fan. They're able to share their opinion and not get into arguments. Yeah. So,
right.
Bill, you got anything?
To go off that old school, do you think the art of storytelling is lost today?
I would say yes. I'm going to say yes. Somewhat yes, somewhat no. Some promoters don't even do that. Some of them do. My strongest recommendation to these promoters today: tell a damn story. Write that next chapter. And there's one organization up in St. Louis area that I know that is doing that. I was very happy to be there about almost a month ago. I would love to go back to wrestle for that group. And that's SICW. Great company. Herb Simmons is a great promoter. He just got nominated. He got an award at the CAC for the independents. I was very proud of him. And that guy is smart, man. I mean, hey, I'll be glad to go back to SICW. No question about it. Whenever the phone call comes from them, I'll be ready to go.
53 years in the business. That man is intelligent.
Yeah. I understand he was in there 50 plus years or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's 53 now. Yeah.
Yeah, that man is smart. I mean, God bless him. God bless his family. I was talking to his wife at the CSE, and I told her that I was very proud of him. Very proud of him.
Yep.
And there was another one down here in Alabama who I worked for. That was Continental Championship Wrestling with Cowboy Dennis Gale when he passed away. He ran a great show, a lot of them. And we had lunch one afternoon, and I said, Dennis, I don't want to ask you a honest question. He said, sure. What do you think about the WWE? He shook his head. He goes, he met Vince McMahon. He goes, he did not like Vince McMahon, how they did things up there. Down in the South, they want to see straight, pure, old school professional wrestling. And I don't blame them. Don't blame them a bit.
So you're from Alabama then?
No, I'm originally from Syracuse, New York.
Okay. All right.
I was born and raised up in Syracuse. But I do agree with a lot of them. If you don't work hard to tell the story and put butts in the seats and make it look believable, and the fans are going to walk. They don't want to see that nonsense, flip, flop, flip, flop. And another thing that really, really, really disturbs me is when you have female work wrestlers in there who dress inappropriately. I do not go for that at all. Kids do not need to see that. At times you see it, at times you don't. I think they're trying to wean away from that. But anytime I see that, I shake my head. I'm like, these kids. I'm like, Lord, these kids don't need to see that. No way.
Yeah, you're right. Can't say you're wrong.
No.
I mean, I got a group of foster kids that love watching wrestling with me, and I'm like, oh my god, when I see stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
um, so what promotion is your main promotion now these days?
Well, right now there's one up in Illinois called Redneck Championship Wrestling. I wrestle for them. Uh, I'm just starting to wrestle for SICW. Another, that's one of the best ones up north. I go down to Florida on a periodically, and my agent, Bill Brown, he's a great guy. I'm waiting for a date to go down to the Dominion of the Republic to wrestle down there. I'm still active all over the United States, and there's a lot of promotions that I like. There are some of them that needs to be worked on, so to speak. I'll leave it at that.
So I live in the Panhandle of Florida. So what promotion do you mainly focus on in Florida?
World Wrestling Network out of Newport Richey, Florida. Great,
Okay.
great organization. They're aligned with the WWE. You had the WXW, founded by the late Simone Appa Anoy. I don't know if they're still running or not. I heard they might have pulled it. I don't know. There's a bunch of duos down there that I'm not even familiar with. And there's one down in Miami area, Coastal Championship Wrestling, that I try to get on. I try to wrestle for down there. But I never heard of these guys from them ever since phone calls were made. The more I put out to these guys, I don't even hear one darn squat whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a shame.
I
That's a
don't
shame.
know.
So
I know. I don't know why. And for all the listeners out there, I'm going to be straightforward. I've been in this business 32, going on 33 years now. Been around. I've been with the best, wrestled the best, and I've been around the block, so to speak, guys. And there's a lot of guys who want to wrestle from the back then World Wrestling Federation after they retired from there on the independent level, and WCW's included. And I wrestled a lot of the top guys. So I may be 56 years old, but I can still move like a giant. Let's put it that way.
there you go, Bill.
You said 33 years in the business. What's some of the best career highlights you got?
One of my top matches I had was when I wrestled the late Lanny Poffo in Newport Richey, Florida. I was the champion at the time. I lost the match, and Lanny came up, and this is how generous Lanny was. I was cheated out of my title. Lanny told the referee, "I'll accept the victory on the match, but the title goes back. I was called Sasquatch back then. The title stays with Sasquatch because he was there's interference in this match, and he didn't even know about it. And his dad, the late great Angelo Popo, agreed with it. So next month we tagged up to meet those two guys in the tag match. We won the match. I dropped the leg. He did his flip off the top rope. That was that. And another one one of my highlights, myself versus the Cuban assassin, Fidel Sierra. And I had great matches with him. The Cuban assassin is very well respected by me. The only thing I cannot stand is the cheating. If I see cheating inside that ring, I will stop it immediately. And nowadays, here in the past, I try to call promoters to have me a match with the Cuban assassin again. Well, we'll get back here on it. Never heard one damn word after that. Nothing. That really makes me irritated because here we are. We can have Cuban assassin and I can have a great match, but the problem is it's the promoters these days. And there's another one. I wrestled the late Jimmy Silverfly Snuka's cousin, C.B. Oppie. I wrestled him a couple of times. Great. We had a great match. Brady Boone, the cousin of Billy Jack Haynes. We had a great scientific match. Absolutely. But those are some of the highlights that I had, plus the NWO as well.
I'm going to step away from the wrestling for a second.
Okay.
I want to talk to you about. You're a big advocate for anti-bullying. So can you talk about your interactions and your participation in anti-bullying and what you do as far as that goes?
Well, I'll give you. That's a good question. I'm gonna be honest with you about this one. I was eating lunch in Denny's one time back in Florida, and these three teenagers comes in. You know how boys mess around after school, fun-wise. And then less than 10 minutes later, they came out of the bathroom. Two of them was pounding on this one kid. And I looked at it, that fired me up. I dropped my fork, and I was like, hell no. I got up, and I got into character for a minute and a half. I said, hey, break it up. They all stared at me. I said, why are you two pounding this kid? What's going on here? And they try to be smart, Alex. I said, I want to hear the smart, Alex. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a place of peace, not a place of torment and beating up on people. You two go home, because if you do not, I will have the law enforcement call. You got a choice. They went their way. And I talked to the other gentleman. I said, what happened? I said, how did this happen? And he has a slow learning disability, from what I understand. I discovered that. I said, young man, go your way, go home, tell your parents that I helped you. And anytime you get threatened like that, go to somebody immediately. He starts walking off. He turns around. He says, sir, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. Are you the American Giant? I said, yes, I am. Thank you so much. I said, you're welcome. Go in peace. And stay away from trouble. And ever since that day, brother, I try to put on Facebook. I'm willing to come to different middle schools, recreation centers, and all that. Talk about this. It needs to be addressed, big time. And my good friend Mark Merrill is doing that all across the country, and I'm very, very proud of him for that. And it takes more than one person to do that who stands up for the truth of things like that. I will not put up with bullying, because if I see it, I'm going to squash it. I won't put up with it.
You're right, exactly right, because that's one of the hugest things that goes on in even the foster care, the kids that we care for right now. There's so much bullying going on, and we don't understand. I don't think as people don't understand the hurt that this portrays and puts on people. So I thank you. God bless you for standing up for that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir.
Bill, you got some?
Yeah. So you do all this traveling for wrestling and for the bully campaigning. Do you have any difficulties with traveling at your size?
No, not really. As long as I have enough rest in between, I really don't have any problems with it. As a matter of fact, I enjoy traveling, going across the country like this. Because you never know who may need to hear the good news about life, positive things about life. And I'm a born again believer, and I believe in spreading God's word. And if we don't spread His word, share His love, how are they going to know? They're in the dark. That's another thing that is very important to me. First and foremost, is staying humble in life. And I tell people today, if you decide to do something right, be it in the wrestling business or a musician or being a doctor, whatever, stay humble and honor that gift that God's given you. That's the important factor, because if you got the big head, I promise you right now, it's not going to work. It will bite you in the butt.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. So, Cauliflower Alley Club, man, I was so I wanted to go this year. I have a friend that went this year, TG, I think his name. Yeah, he has another podcast. I think you were on his podcast actually.
Yes.
Talk to me about Cauliflower Alley Club. How important tell the fans how important Cauliflower Alley Club is to legends. I mean, legends like you, to the legends that are over that you mentioned it, they're all really old or passing away. So what does Cauliflower Alley Club do, and how important is it for that people like fans and entertain or content creators like us to join and support that?
Well, this was my first year going out there, and I really enjoyed it. It's like a big family reunion, especially with Brian Blair, the president. Brian, God bless him. He did a great job this year. Talking to a lot of the guys out there who I knew very well. Some of them I met, and you know, the fans is a little bit different because they don't. Some of them knew who I was, some of them didn't, and they were asking me questions as to how the business works and all that. I said, well, first of all, you got to go to a school around in your area. If you want to break into the business of professional wrestling, I encourage you to get trained right. Do not go to these darn backyarders because they're not professional wrestlers. I don't care what they say, they're not wrestlers. And, just sharing things like that, sharing photo logs, talking with people about careers and all that. It's like a family reunion, and I love that. And it was a great time this time. I'm going back next year.
Here's
And
some I just caught some pictures that I think this was at California Alley Club. You had Mick Foley there.
yes, that was right after his when they roasted him.
Then you had, of course, Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart. No, Jimmy very well. He was out there. He looked at me and goes, Buck, baby. He goes, it's great to see you out here. I said, thank you, brother. And we caught up a little bit. And Greg Valentine was out there. Cowboy Bob Orton was out there. Herb Simmons was out there. Missy Hyatt and all them guys. Fidel Sierra, Cuban Assassin with his manager Fantasy. They were out there. Who else was out there? Ricky Santana, great athlete back in the day. And Jake the Snake Roberts was out there, of course.
Barbara Goodish was there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, yes.
Oh, Bill, go ahead.
Do you have any stories from anything to do with the WWF? Did you ever get called up over there or anything from WWF at all?
Well, Bill, I'm going to be honest with you about that. I'm glad you asked that question. I wanted to go to the WWF. One time at the Sundome while they're doing a Monday Night Raw taping, Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson comes back to the dressing room area, pulling up in their car. He got out. I shook Vince's hand, and he asked how I was doing. I said, "Doing fine, sir." And when I offered to wrestle for his company if they needed some new talent. Unfortunately, this is where it gets real sticky. And brother, you're not going to believe this. Vince shook my hand again, slaps it away from me. He goes, "Get the F away from me. We don't deal with jabronis like you."
Wow.
Yeah. I said, okay, no problem. I didn't mean to cause a scene. Vince McMahon gave me a really nasty look. I thought, well, I told security I'm not worried about it. I would offer to help out. That was it. Well, a little short time after that, Chief Jay Strongbow and George Steele came up to me in private and asked me, "Big guy, we heard that you went to Vince." I said, "Yes." He goes, "Is that true?" I said, "Yes, it is true." He goes, "Brother, I'm going to be honest with you. Do not go to Vince. You come to us. We're the bookers." He said, "A lot of the guys are leaving the World Wrestling Federation because of Vince McMahon. That included Hogan, Savage, Bret Hart was on his way out, apparently, and a couple of the others. I think the Nasty Boys already left. I'm not sure at that point. But I said, "George and Jay, I wasn't here to cause no trouble. I was out for the work because we know you did." And you go, take that as a learning experience. And, next time, don't do it again. They were very nice to me. Jay and George, very pleasant. Vince, he's a He was a pain in the rear end, so to speak. And so the security came up to me afterwards. This Puerto Rican guy comes up. He goes, "If you don't leave this building immediately, we're going to have you arrested for trespassing." I thought, well, okay. I said, "Do you know where the Tampa Sportatorium is on Albany Avenue in Tampa?" He goes, "Yeah. If I catch you guys in there, I'll have my security throw you guys out." Turn around. I said, "Number one thing you guys don't want to do, what's that? Do not insult the boys. I promise you. It'll get back to you." And I left. I wasn't being mean. I was just being honest. And I went home, and I told them what happened. I was living with my parents at the time, and I told them what happened. And they said, "You did the best thing." And the next day, or 2 days later, rather, Boris Malenko got a hold of it. And Boris is like the dad of professional wrestling. He talked to me like a son. And he told me, he says, "Just take your time in this business, man." He goes, he said, "You're going to do just fine. But learn. Don't go to the fence." I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Now get your butt in that ring. I got a guy I want you to work with." He had me work with Glenn Jacobs, Kane, in the match, and Glenn taught me a lot of things. So yeah, that's what happened with Vince in the WWF.
What's the wildest thing that ever happened to you in a match of any kind?
Of any kind, define wild.
What went wrong? Did anything ever go wrong in a match that?
Oh,
Yeah.
nothing majorly, actually, yes. There I only had one situation. There was a new talent in Tampa, Florida area, and I don't agree with these type of matches. They had a battle royal which involved females, and I was told to throw one of the females out of the ring. She refused to be thrown out. Her boyfriend tried to shoot on me in the ring. And I stormed back in the locker room. I said, "If you ever shoot on me like that in the ring again, I promise you, you're going to be done with." We almost got into a fight. And I said, number two, I was told to throw her out. And the promoter backed me up on that. And that guy had an attitude. But he had a big stuck-up attitude. And the promoter called me in the office, asked me what happened. I told him. Before I knew it, they threw the other guy out. They fired him right on the spot for that. And that was the other thing. Then this is where I'm talking about bullying. I said, "God, I'm not going to put up with it. I won't." If somebody ever does that to me again, I promise you, they will get a serious receipt. And I gave out a lot of receipts. I had to. I'm not going to sit there and tolerate some 20-year-old kid thinks he knows it all. Nobody is better than another in professional wrestling. Nobody.
So every wrestler, I'm sure, travels via car, plane, or whatever. What is one wild and funny story you can tell of your career on road trips?
On road trips? Oh, do I got a good one for you?
All right, that's good. Let's hear it.
One night after a house show, at this point, I did not break into the business at this point. We were on the road trip. I drove, I was hanging out with the guys. We went to this one restaurant that I used to go with all the time after I got out of school, college I'm talking about. So me, the Nasty Boys, the Undertaker, and the Iron Sheik were in there one night. And the Iron Sheik was sitting on my right, the Undertaker's on my left, and the Nasty Boys were across from me. Undertaker comes up. He goes, "I want you to do me a favor, big man." I said, "What's that?" "Go tell the Iron Sheik you're going to stretch him from here back to Iran, see what he says." I looked at him. I'm not going to tell him that. That's being disrespectful. So Sheik was sitting there eating chicken noodle soup. I remember it as if it was yesterday. I said, "If I get in trouble for this, I'm coming after you. I don't care how big you are." So I said, "Sheiky, baby." He goes, "Yes, sir." I says, "I'm going to stretch you from here back to Iran, you Iranian freak." He drops his spoon, looks at me. He puts me in a headlock. He goes, now you sit there and you behave yourself. He told me, he goes, and nasty boy Knob slapped me across the head that night. He goes, what's the matter with you? And Sags looks at me, he goes, how dare you say that to the Sheik? I says, the Undertaker told me to tell him that. He looks at me, he goes, I did not tell you to tell him that. I told you not to tell him that. You're going to get stretched on. I said, that's it. They set me up. So Sheik looks at me in private. He tells me, he goes, don't listen to these dumb a-holes. He goes, they don't know what they're talking about. He goes, I'll go stretch the Undertaker. I said, okay, I can do that. So later on that night, I drove him back to the hotel. And this one little kid gets on top of the dresser. He turns around, he goes, Superfly, off the dresser and lands on me.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck are you doing? I sat on the Undertaker's hat, the one he wears to the ring. And next night, they were supposed to be on TV somewhere else. He goes, big man, you squashed my hat. I popped it back out. I said, that's what you get for having me be stretched by the Sheik. I told you you're going to get it somehow. But it was a lot of fun. There was no harm done or anything like that. But that was one of the funniest ones. And another one is I recently had a Comic-Con here at one point in Orlando, Florida. Nasty Boy Knobs and I went down there. And Knobs looks at me. He goes, well, I think I got to pass gas. I said, well, if you pass gas, I'll pull over the side of the road. I'll throw your butt over the Howard Franklin Bridge into the lake. So what does he do? He passes gas. And thank God I had Febreze in my car. I was like, you nasty pig. Roll down my window. But yeah, that was another fun time. And, we had a blast. I mean, that was another win. And I'll tell you one more real quick. A friend of mine worked at the Holiday Inn up in the Liverpool area where I grew up at. One white limousine comes over, and it's about 2:30 in the morning. Inside it was Hogan, DiBiase, Hawk, Knobs, and Beefcake. Knobs was drunk like a fish that night. I'm like, oh my God. So we're sitting there slapping each other, playing slap. You know how you play the slap game. Yeah. So Hawk's like, I'll take him down. I'll get him straightened out. So before you know, we heard a big noise down there. Hawk comes back up. He goes, what was that noise? He goes, oh, nothing. Knobs just punched a hole in the wall. I'm like, oh, that's great. In the meantime, Ted DiBiase puts money in there to get a snack or whatever. And it ate his money. I said, well, Ted, guess what? He goes, what's that? Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. He looked at me. He goes, oh, shut up. I said, well, did you pay taxes on that? Hogan was sitting there laughing. He shook his head. He goes, you tell him, big man. You tell him. And another one.
Wow, that's funny.
Oh, it was funny that night. And I'll tell you one more quick one. There was another show at the War Memorial Auditorium, and Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, was wrestling the Texas Tornado. Kurt just got done. Asked me if I had a car. I said, yeah, my car is downstairs. I went to driving back to the hotel. I ate dinner there that night because I was hungry. I didn't wait till I get home. I want to eat now. Fish and chips, all you can eat. Kurt comes back down. And Jim Neidhart comes down after that. We had a great conversation. My good friend of mine, who I knew for a long time, she's starting to hit on Neidhart. I'm like, oh my God, she's drunk like a fish. Kurt had a shot glass, took a shot. He looks at me. He goes, "Is that right?" I said, "Yep." I said, "Well, let's go over there and just have dinner, leave Jim alone." He goes, "You're absolutely perfect." I'm like, "No, it's not." But yeah, those are some of the fun times I had with those guys, and we all developed friendships, and that was very important to me.
Awesome. So, do you keep in contact with any of these guys anymore?
I talk to Brian Knobs all the time, periodically. I talk, I try to get a hold of Jimmy Hart once in a while. He's busy doing his own thing. Um, I haven't talked to a lot of them in a while because I've been busy doing my shoot job. And
So to touch back on Cauliflower Alley Club, we have a
mhm,
guest. We have a guest in October, Brian Knob. No, I'm sorry, no, Buff Bagwell. In
mhm.
October. Now, am I right? CIC and the people that are members of that, isn't CIC's main goal to help those wrestlers in dire need to get things that they need? Is that the main
That's my
purpose?
understanding. Yes, that's my understanding. Yes, I'm a lifetime member. I just signed up for it not too long ago, and I'm glad I went. And but yes, if there's any need that needs to be met, they'll try to accommodate you and help you out. And Bagwell, God bless Bagwell, man. I mean, with his leg amputation, God bless him. I mean, he has a good spirit. I don't know Bagwell that well, but from when I see him on video, his spirit is lifted, and he just keeps on doing what he does. I mean, God bless him.
Every time, here's so funny. Funny story about him. I just reached out to him via, I can't remember, text message, I guess. And no, email. And he goes, sir, he goes, here's my cell phone. He goes, I don't do emails. If you want to get a response, you need to call me. I'm like, there's no way. I'm just a content creator. There's no way
Right.
he's gonna want to hear from me. And I'm sitting here going, okay. And all of a sudden my phone rings and it's him. And he is the most genuine dude in the world.
Oh,
He
Bagwell.
is, yeah, he is. I don't know. He's just an amazing gentleman. So, yeah. So I just wanted to touch base on that cauliflower, if that's what it meant for them. So, anyway, who is your favorite or least favorite person to ride the road with in the wrestling business?
My favorite person? Oh, I got a lot of them. Um, let's see. I got a few lists if you don't mind me listing them.
Oh,
The Nasty Boys, of course. Uh, Jim Powers, the Iron Sheik. They all rolled with me on many occasions. I had Shawn Michaels. I had Mr. Perfect in my car several times because he needed a ride back to the hotel. Kurt was a very, very nice guy. He loves to rip people, but when he's serious, he's serious. And I told Kurt, I said, well, I'm going to turn on the radio. So I listened to country music for a minute. I said, you know who you remind me of? He goes, who's that? John Schneider. He looks at me, he goes, Bo Duke? I said, yeah. He goes, why is that? The color of your hair is the same color, blondish color. That was back then, of course. And he says, I can see that. I go, there's only one thing about it, though. John's not perfect, like Mr. Perfect. I was ribbing him a little bit. So these ones, well, I don't really have a least ones because everybody treated me well.
okay, good.
And, a lot of guys treated me well. DiBiase, he had a chip on his shoulder back then before he became a born again believer or a minister. But yeah, a lot of guys I got along with fine.
Awesome. Bill?
What's some dream matches you got? Past or
I'm
present?
sorry.
Anybody you want to get in the ring with?
I'm sorry.
Is there anybody past or present you want to get in the ring with?
I want to get back in the ring with the Cuban Assassin because number one, I feel that the USA can beat Cuba in a fair match. If he cheats and I see it, I'm going to stop it the best I can. Cuban Assassin is one of the talented wrestlers in professional wrestling today. He's been around a long time. There's another one. Let's see. I would like to get in the ring. Some of the guys who left, maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin, have a great match with him, or The Rock. You never know. I mean, I'm not just saying that to be funny. I'm saying that because I'm serious. because these guys are wrestlers also. It depends whoever they put me with. I'm always waiting for a phone call or message. But these new
What
talents
about
today, I'm going to be straightforward with you. I will not wrestle a backyard. I will not lose to a backyard. Because number one, I will shoot it down quick. You can either be fatally hurt or you can be killed if that match doesn't go right. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say that. People think I'm delusional. Guess what? If you think I'm looking to being delusional, look yourself in the mirror and see who's delusional. I'm not.
what about
I,
what about all-time dream matches? Any real dream matches you got?
dream matches.
Dream matches. Anybody that's here, anybody that's gone, anybody you would love to get in the ring with.
I would have loved to get in the ring with Mr. Perfect, um, or or a Blackjack Mulligan, or even today Tugboat. Um, Tugboat's a great wrestler. He's a good sized guy. I got a lot of respect for Tugboat. Maybe back then, the Undertaker. You never know, or the Giant Gonzalez. But who's that one guy from India? The Great Khali. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Khali. And before I go any further, I want to express this to everybody. There's three reasons why they call me the American Giant. Number one, I'm 7'3". Number two, I'm an American. And number three, and I'm going to say this is very important for me, I'm a giant in heart. This is what I mean. I'm giant in heart because I'll step into the ring with anybody who they put me with to do my best. There's only one true giant in the history of professional wrestling. Everybody knows that. That's Andre the Giant, the boss. That's simple. I may be 7'3", but I have a giant heart to step in there. All the promoters got to do is call me up and say, "Hey, we want you to wrestle this guy. Would you be willing to do it?" Let's talk.
So here at the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, I'll follow that up with this. This is the guy you're calling out. There's a Cuban assassin, Fidel Sierra, and his manager.
Yes.
I'm just going to shout out to Fidel Sierra, the Cuban assassin. The American Giant wants a match with you. Promoters out there, let's make this happen. Promoters in Florida, let's make this happen. Call up the American Giant. Call up Buck Brezner. Let's make this happen with Fidel Sierra. And just as long as his manager doesn't get involved, I think this would be a good match.
Absolutely.
So let's get this on the books, guys. Let's get this on the books. So I want to talk to you about fans, man. What did you ever have any fan interaction that would completely surprised you or stuck with you throughout the years?
A manager?
No, a fan. Is there any fan interactions that stuck with you throughout the years of your career? Like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever had to do with a fan.
Oh, with me, with a fan?
Yeah, with you with a fan. Yeah.
What really stuck me out with a fan is handicapped kids.
Okay.
Who loves the business. I had a match not too long ago up in Illinois, and I was asked to go out to see a young man outside of the building because he could not. I got something to do with his anxiety. He could not go inside and watch shows properly. So I went out there. I was the Redneck Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion at this point. When I walked out there, this kid lit up with a big smile, and his mom was very, very happy that I took a picture with him. And I spent a few minutes talking to him and see how he was doing. That made his night. And that made his night. And I took a picture. I took a picture with him, and he was happy. He was really, really happy. And there was one in the past when I first started at the Tampa Sportatorium. I was hated back then. I knew a friend of mine who was a police officer. When I hit the ring that night, the whole police officers booed the hell out of me. Bad, like you see it on TV. And I grabbed the microphone. I saw this little girl at ringside. I said, little lady, if you don't sit down and behave yourself, what you and your parents telling you to do, I'm going to take care of you personally. Just play the role. And I said, you darn cops can't even walk, chew gum, and make an arrest at the same time. If you need to be retrained, go see my good friend, the big boss man. And I got heat that night bad. So after that match, the parents came up to me. They says, Sasquatch, our little girl's crying. I said, okay. I said, is there anything wrong? She wants to talk to you. I said, okay. I said, take me to her. She says, you made me cry tonight. I said, I didn't. I said, I'm sorry, young lady. I never meant to do that. I was just doing my job. I says, this is how we do things. She looked at me. She says, I forgive you. I love you, Sasquatch. Can I get a picture with you? So I got a picture with her. I made another fan that night too, by the way. But yeah, those are the type of things that really, really touch my heart all the time. It really does.
Bill?
How important were the fans to your career in general, like over the last 30 years?
It's very important. Very important. Especially when they stand behind me to stand up for America. And a lot of kids don't know who I am. I mean, that cuts me out. I just ignore that part. But there's a lot of them who cheer me on. But yeah, the kids, the people, whether young or old, it's very important to me. I just want to do the best job I can possibly do, lead by example, and wrestle the right way. Yeah.
I got some random questions, simple, quick questions, like maybe
Sure.
shoot questions. What's the most dangerous opponent? A steel chair or a folding table that won't break?
The most dangerous?
What's the most dangerous opponent? A steel chair or a folding table that won't break?
I'm going to go with a folding table that won't break.
What hurts more, chair shot or stepping on Legos?
I would say stepping on 2 Legos for me.
Okay.
That's me. Now that's me now.
Right. So have you ever I asked this question to everybody. Have you ever cut a promo while you're ordering your food in a drive-thru or at a fast food restaurant?
Oh, heck no. 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 When I eat my food, that's my quiet time. That's my resting time. Promos can wait after that. I'm glad you asked me that question. Because one time they had a big Legends lunch in Tampa one time. And I was sitting next to Greg Valentine, a hamburger sandwich with French fries. And I thought the waitress already got it. So I started grabbing, started eating it. Valentine looks at me, he goes, Giant, if you don't get your hands off my food, I'm going to stretch you, put you in a figure 4 leg lock. I'm like, oops. I give it back to him and said, sorry, Greg, I didn't know it was yours. But, there's the golden rule is do not touch the boys' food. They will get vicious.
Right. So one last stupid question.
Sure.
Who in the locker room would you not want to watch your dog?
Watch my what?
Your dog, your cat, your dog.
My dog?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to say Boogeyman on that one. The one that eats the worms. He's up top of the list.
All right.
You never know what could happen there. And if the Wild Samoans were still with us, I would say the Wild Samoans too.
All right. So we have a guy from SICW, Jim Hoffer. Thank you for coming in, Jim. He has a question for you, man. Well, a statement, actually. Let's hear your rebuttal on this statement. It says, don't get him mad. I seen him take out 2 people at once.
I have taken 2 people out at once. That's true.
Tell us about that.
Well, I had a match in Danville, Kentucky, wrestling for the Elite Wrestling Alliance. Wrestled a guy by the name of Stan Sierra. Before you know it, the end of the match comes, I was about ready to choke slam Stan. These 2 small guys came out and started to attack me from behind. The referee called for the bell. I said, heck no. Give him the knocker. Choke slammed them both right in the middle of the ring. And the fans popped on that one. And before you know it, I grabbed the mic. I said, number 1, if you ever do that again, I promise you, you will have an ambulance waiting for you next time I come back here.
Awesome.
So yeah.
I'm going to ask this question because I have a huge pop and I stir the pot. You are just new to SICW. You're a giant. The Big Texan is a giant as well.
Mm-hmm.
He even says he knows me as the Big Texan. I want to hear Jim's comment in the comments. I want to hear you say this. Does Jim, the Big Texan, stand a chance in the ring with you?
It would be a great match. I will say that. Jim, I saw Jim wrestle a couple of times. Great athlete. He uses his size well. Very well. I respect Jim very much. Does he stand a chance? That remains to be seen, because you never know. If I say no, yeah, he doesn't, and something else happens to what he does, that makes me look like a fool. And on top of that, the Big Texan was my tag team partner in the 6-man tag not too long ago.
Yes. So I know I've had the Big Texan on the podcast. He's a great friend of mine. Thank you, Big Texan, for showing up on the show. He wants to keep you as a tag team partner. I think he knows that, you know what I'm saying? I think he knows when he has a good thing going. So maybe, just maybe, there should be a tag team forum between the Big Texan and the American Giant. So I'd love if Herb Simmons watches this, that'd be an awesome tag team. I think that you could run havoc.
I will be more than happy to tag up with the Big Texan anytime. The Big Texan, great guy, solid guy. He knows the ring is the old school. Like I said, yeah. There's a lot of love and respect for the man. Absolutely. If Herb
I'll do that anytime.
If Herb signs it, I'd be more than happy to. Not a problem.
That's awesome. So I want to respect your time, sir. We've been on a minute and hour and 5 minutes. My friend Bill said he has no more questions. So I just want to know, is there any parting words for fans, promotions that you need to put out there, where they can find you, where they can find your merch, anything like that?
Yes. I periodically put merch on my Facebook page, and I also have a official website page. It's out there. So there's 2 places you can find it. You can always DM me for prices for my photos. I got coffee mugs and flags and all that for purchase, and I also have T-shirts that I signed with territorytees.com. That if you'd like to order a T-shirt, you have to go to territorytees.com to order a T-shirt. And as far as the promoter is concerned, well, number 1, I'm ready to step back in the ring at any given time. You're talking to a 33-year seasoned veteran on the independent level, and I'm ready to go at any given time, and I will be glad to come to represent your company. Me and my manager, Miss Americana, good friend of mine, would be glad to come and wrestle and represent the USA. And as far as, excuse me, as far as for kids and teenagers, this is what I'm going to tell you. Hear me out. And I'm not being funny and I'm not being delusional. If you ever choose a career in your life, no matter what it is, whether it's professional wrestling, music, acting, whatever, stay humble. I repeat, stay humble. Be thankful for the career or the gift that God's given you in your life. Use it to make him happy, so to speak. Don't get the big head, because if you do, it's not going to work out for you, especially professional wrestlers today. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I'm here to tell you the truth, man. Even the new talent today, don't hang out with the wrong crowd. Stay true to the gym, train hard, and that athlete, be that role model that God's called you to be. And that's all there is to that. And if you need any questions, I'm sorry.
All right, Big Texan just backed you up with it and have a backup plan.
Yes, backup plan is right, because you never know. Anything can happen. Big Jim's right about that. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. If you have any questions, no question is stupid. Ask. That's all there is to it.
Well, I appreciate your time, Buck Brezner, the American Giant. I appreciate it. Bill, thank you for coming on the show. I'm going to close it out with a music, but sir, I'd ask you to stay on. Don't go off I want to talk to you off the air, if that's okay.
Okay.
Real quick. So I appreciate everybody coming on the show. I appreciate the Big Texan with his words. I love SICW, Herb Simmons, that group of people. We ran several interviews with that group of people up there, and I can't wait to get back and reconnect with everybody there. Bill, thank you for being part of the Wednesday show. Drop the mic. I appreciate it. Man, Mr. Brezner, man, it took a minute to get you in here, but now you're in here. You're in the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast Zone, and I appreciate you being here. As we say at Huge Pop Entertainment, we're for life.